Heinrich Schliemann's grandson found a vase from the King Cronus era of Atlantis. By an unusual turn of events, the activities of the alleged grandson of Heinrich Schliemann, archaeologist Paul Schliemann, brought considerable discredit to the Atlantis theory. The mysterious person and alleged grandson of the famous archaeologist, in an article he wrote for the Hearst newspaper group in 1912, claimed that his grandfather had also been interested in Atlantis shortly before he died in 1890. He had left a sealed envelope that was to be, quote, opened by a family member who would dedicate his life to the research that Paul Schliemann claimed that an hour before he died, his grandfather had added an unsealed postscript with the order: break the vase with the owl's head, examine its contents, contains Atlantis, end quote. Paul wrote that he did not open the file, which had been deposited in a French bank until 1906. When he finally opened it, he learned how his grandfather, in the excavations of Troy, of the coast of western Turkey, had found a bronze jar containing clay tablets, metal objects, coins, and fossilized bones, with a Phoenician inscription on the jar that read, by King Cronus of Atlantis, quote unquote. According to Paul Schliemann, his grandfather had examined a vase from Tiwanaku and found in it clay fragments with the same chemical composition, as well as metal objects with the exact same alloy of platinum, aluminum, and copper. He was thus convinced that these different objects were connected by some common bond of origin, that is, Atlantis. And according to Paul Schliemann, he continued his prolific research, finding several papyrus manuscripts in St. Petersburg, Russia, concerning Egyptian prehistory, as well as a manuscript referring to a search for Atlantis by the Egyptians. He did these investigations secretly until his death, which is not at all similar to the tactics of Henry Schliemann. The younger Schliemann wrote that he did his research before he returned to Paris and before he broke the owl head. Inside the vase, he found a square disc of white metal, much larger than the neck of the vase, on one side of which were carved strange designs and images that did not resemble anything I had seen before, neither hieroglyphics nor letters, he said. On the other side was an ancient Phoenician inscription, quote, we came from the temple with transparent walls, end quote, the letter. Now, among the various pieces in his grandfather's collection, Paul claimed to have found a ring of that unknown alloy, an elephant figurine carved from fossilized bone, and a map used by an Egyptian navigator searching for Atlantis. Perhaps he had borrowed it from the St. Petersburg Museum during his research, question mark. Continuing his researches in Egypt and Africa, Paul Schliemann found more objects of that mysterious metal, which made him declare that he had 5 links to the chain of his researches. Quote, the coins from my grandfather's secret collection, the coin from Atlantis jar, the coins from the Egyptian sarcophagus, the coin from the Central American jar, and the metal child's head from the Moroccan coast, end quote. A neutral observer could equate Paul Schliemann's desire to find mysterious coins with a more reasonable desire to acquire modern money, especially since he first sold his story to the press corps and subsequently none of his findings were presented to be examined. His final statements about his discoveries is, quote, that if I told everything I know, there would be no more mystery, end quote. It's certain one of the most puzzling statements in the history of scientific research. So this is by Mystery of Atlantis, Charles Burleigh's Aurora Publications, page 184 to 186, and I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.